Okay, so beginning it, let's start full stack development. So what and all we need in full stack development? What is meant by full stack development? What kind of projects can we build using full stack development? So I'll be going through all of these stuffs. Okay, let's start with introduction. Full stack development means that you can develop and complete website. Okay, you can develop and complete website. What does a complete website mean? A complete website means something that you can be able to derive it from your databases. You can store it in your databases, as well as you can upload it to a server. Like what we do, domain name, like www.google.com. It is a domain name. Okay, since it is hosted by Google, you can say it as a website. Okay, so while carry oning with full stack development, what you can do is, you when you develop a project on full stack development, okay, when a complete project is developed, that project you can render it to server, so you can further host it. So that means a full stack developed website. So how is a website developed? Okay, so first, to develop an website we need html. So html is basically the key skeleton of your web pages. Okay, so whenever you start with your html, it is a basic key, it is a skeleton of your pages. So what is html? We'll come back to that in a minute. So let me continue with css. With html we will use css also. Okay, what is css? Css is nothing but styling html. Okay, styling html. So full form is of css is like cascade styling sheet. So that and all, will come back to it in a minute. I'll just complete this part and I'll introduce you to html, css, both the things. Now, when you develop a web page on HTML and CSS, the next thing what you need to do is, you need to connect it to your servers. Okay, you need to connect it to your servers. So what and all servers we'll be using? We will be using here Tomcat server. I'll write it here. We'll be using a Tomcat server. Okay, and with respect to this server we need a database. Obviously you guessed it, we will use mysql. Okay, we'll be using mysql as our database. Now what is in between of this? Okay, we have our web pages, we have our server, we have our database. So someone should be there between all this part, who is responsible to connect all those things and work. Okay, so here we will be having java. Here we will be having java in between. So what does java do? Java is a programming language. Okay, whatever you type in html and css, it is, these two are scripting languages. These two are scripting languages. So when HTML is a scripting language, it will directly render it to your web page and you can see everything. Okay, but this Java is a programming language. What and all we can do in Java? Adding numbers, subtraction of numbers, logic, we all write it in Java. Okay, so to write something with respect to your pages in Java, we come back to JSP. JSP is nothing but Java Servlet Pages. Okay, this is our logic part where we will be writing our logics. Okay, this will be our logic part where we'll be writing our logics. We will give action to our pages, what we should understand, what we should do. example for our Java, we can say it like when I give username, password. Okay, when I give some username and password, then who is responsible to check whether this username is evaluating with my password? Okay, so Java does it. It is the person who evaluate it. Okay, but who is responsible to understand that whether this particular username, okay, particular username and particular password exist or not? Okay, that is the work of MySQL here. Okay, MySQL is nothing but storage. It is nothing but storage. It is nothing but storage. So what does we store in this? We store our data. Okay, so MySQL is a database where we'll be storing our data. How do we store our data? So it is not like an hard disk where we store our data like in a folder or something. We will store it into rows and columns. Okay, we'll store our data into rows and columns where we can carry on with password. Okay, so if I give an particular password, think like 123, and username is U, yes, capital, okay, capital U, capital S is my username, 123 is my password. When I give an username US and password 123 in my HTML, okay, in my HTML, then Java goes through this databases. Okay, will be writing a code like it should go to a database, check for an username, check for an password whether they both belongs to a same row, then you make it like you are evaluated. Okay, and you are access, and we will grant you access, grant access. Okay, so this is the way how we will be developing a full stack project. Okay, so to complete this full stack project we need to learn many things. As I gave you a small introduction, how do we do a simple project? We need many things. Okay, this is a very brief introduction what I have given to you. Actually, it's a very vast introduction, but okay, fine. So now I will be showing you each word which I have written here in detail.